Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Jennifer Almazri. I'm here with Tink, just hanging out. So I wanted to create this video on animal communication because I wanted to talk about why it's so special and why it's so important to me and why I love everything I do. So for me, animal communication is all about bridging the gap between the human and your pet. And pets have likes and dislikes just like you and I. They have things that they prefer doing. For example, maybe you have a dog that prefers to be walked once a day, wants to take a car ride, wants to be heavily stimulated. That can be one scenario. Maybe you have a horse that's more on the lazy side, doesn't want to always be in work, okay with not always being worked, maybe prefers the ring versus trails, or you have a horse that prefers trails over the ring. These are just a few things that I've run into as an animal communicator, and I find that my job is to help the human and the animal coincide so they can both work together to form a better relationship. And that's why I love it so much. That's why I enjoy what I do. I've had readings where even my own horse, where he has told me that we went on trails and we were doing all these active riding, and he's like, listen, I don't want to do that much. I don't want to do trails. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yes. He's like, I'm just not interested in working that hard. And, I feel like my whole entire life that I worked, and I'm just not interested in trails. I'd rather be in the ring. I'd rather do ring work. I feel safer there. I like it, better there. And, I was like, okay, I understand that. So it helped me with my relationship with him in the sense where I wasn't asking more of him than he could give me. And I was able to accept him for him instead of just being like, okay, well, you have to do this. You have no choice but to do trails. And that's what I find in a relationship, that we have to be more cognizant and more understanding, because, with all of our pets, that there's going to be times where, we're looking for one type of relationship, or we're looking to have it a certain way. And it's not always going to be that way, where the animal doesn't always want to engage in that way. Like I said, you might have an animal that's highly stimulated, like needs to go in car rides, like I was just saying before, maybe go out for constant walks, get pets, and, maybe like you work at home or something and you cannot, give your dog all that attention, and they're constantly begging and they want it and so forth. This is where my job comes in, and this is where, like I said, I love what I do, because being an animal communicator is just such a beautiful, beautiful gift. And not only is it a beautiful gift, it's actually it's different. It's not something you see every day. And with that, I also have the ability to talk to the animals, and they can hear me and they can understand what I'm saying. And I feel like it's not just normal conversation where we're working through a problem. I feel like it's actually me going into the depths of their soul and really working through what issues they're having, and bringing it up with the human. And there is a point where they're able to work things out, and maybe also a healing happens between the pet and the human. You see what I mean? Like, just a healing. He's gonna roll. A healing takes place because the animal's being validated, and also, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but animals also are they also are a mirror to us, so we also are being validated. So it's the same thing. The animal's always going to mirror us and mirror our relationships and show us where we're going small, or we're not doing something to our fullest. So it's important to recognize that and, you know, just love where we're at and be focused and I guess let yourself be healed. You know what I mean? Let yourself be healed. Let yourself be loved. Let yourself, you know, just be able to connect, you know? So that's a little bit about what I do, why I love it. I hope you really like and subscribe, and just, if you can, just pass on the video, or maybe, you know, pass to a friend. So the more my content gets out, the more I can help others, the more I can help more animals, the more I can help more people. And that's it. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye, guys.